Welcome to Girl Talk, and we are at Radiant Skin Therapy today, and we have a great show ahead for you today. And we'll be talking with the owner, Anne, a little bit later, and some really interesting stuff for women and for men, which I think is really cool.
Anti-aging is always interesting.
Yeah, because that's something we could all benefit from, right?
It's one of those topics, if you're a lady out there, it's always sort of top of mind, especially as you start to age and notice little changes in your face or your body that you're uncomfortable with. But guys too, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would hope.
Right. And there's always something for everybody.
Thinking about it.
They have so many different services. It kind of, it's really impressive, and it's all non-surgical.
Yes,
Which
that's
is great.
the key, right? Yeah, because I'm scared to go in with a knife. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's great to be able to do little things for yourself that help sort of refresh and awaken you, make you look less sleepy.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure if I am scared of going under the knife, but I don't have time for recovery. I mean, this is so fast. It's like in and out.
Well, there's the obvious expense too. So we're talking
Right.
today specifically about men's services. So guys out there, you're not excluded. We've got lots for you.
And we'll also be talking to our favorite geeks. Madison Geeks are here, so they've always
Yes.
got great information to share.
Social media is the topic today for businesses, actually.
We're really doing this segment for Janet. Who needs a little help in the social media department.
I'm a holdout, I'll admit it. I'm not on Facebook. I try to avoid all that stuff as much as I can.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for that. But if you're a business owner, it's almost necessary at this stage in evolution and in our social media life cycle here, because there's so much that you can do and to basically boost business without spending a dime.
You're going to fall behind. As much as you may not like social media or the idea of it as a business owner, I do think that you are just going to kind of fall off and get behind.
I am in one local phone book, but I've been asked by many others, and I'm like, no, I've got my Facebook page.
Right.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
So many people get a hold of me through that.
That's funny you mentioned the phone book, just because that is really becoming an archaic.
There's still a phone book? That's what comes to my mind.
Yeah, and that's what I don't mean to be rude, but that's kind of what I say.
Yeah, or if you need to look up a business, fewer and fewer people are using a phone book to look it up.
Right,
So
because now you've got Google. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And we'll also be talking to Lori from Kestrel Ridge Golf Course, and it is just wedding craziness right now, so it's a great time to talk about different events, or maybe you have something for work or you need a space, and they've got a beautiful facility over there.
And this time of year, they also, obviously, their golf course, they do golf outings. So if that's
fantastic,
something that you're looking to put together, check them out. It sounds great. I haven't been there, but it sure sounds like.
And if you need a bridesmaid, I'm pretty sure Ellen is volunteering, 4 weddings this year?
Something like that. Something like that. It's crazy.
She'll stand in.
Yep. I'm ready. Girl Talk will be back right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming at Radiant Skin Therapy. This is off of Todd Drive, off the Beltline. Great place to be, and we're going to be talking about you guys, men, getting services here. So stick around and check that out. But right now we're turning to events. Do you have an event coming up? Maybe a party, an anniversary, maybe a fundraising event. We're meeting here with Lori Brown. She's with Kestrel Ridge Golf Club.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So if people do have events, first thing they're going to want to know is, where are you? Where can they find you?
Yep, we're located in Columbus. It's just a quick 20-minute drive from the east side of Madison. It's not that far away, so it's a short drive from Madison.
Okay, good.
It's nice to get out of the city too. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it kind of makes a real big difference too for your budget. It actually takes you a little away from the pricey area, gets you out,
think about that.
and
That's
not
a
that
good
far
point.
of a drive, and it's worth the drive. It really is.
What's the capacity of your banquet hall?
We can hold up to 250 people.
Oh, wow.
And we also do parties, smaller parties as well. We're able to section the dining room off in half if need be. But we do seminars for like banks, maybe, or different groups that are trying to do some teaching seminar or learning classes, and so we're able to accommodate that as well. So anywhere from groups from 20 to 250.
That's good to know, because I thought about, okay, maybe you do weddings or rehearsal parties, but I wanted to know what else, what kind of things are you seeing people
Yeah.
Very
for?
cool.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, Janet, weddings. It's like just crazy wedding season. I know I've already gone to 3. I have one more coming up. But with weddings on the brain, do you guys have like a ceremony site too, where people can kind of spend their whole day?
Yeah, that's becoming very, very popular.
Okay.
People are really focusing on having their ceremony outside.
I love that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We have a beautiful gazebo that overlooks the golf course.
Wow.
So it sets itself up perfectly to have your guests, have a seat, go to the ceremony. And when the ceremony is done, you just come on in right to the building or the beautiful veranda that overlooks the golf course. That's part of the banquet hall as well. And it's just perfect space to have your cocktail hour and whatnot before the event.
I was
so
thinking when
nice.
you said 250, even if you don't have that many people at the ceremony, you can invite them to the banquet hall.
Exactly.
And you can hold them.
Mhm. A lot of people do that. Sure.
Right.
Yeah, it works out very well for that.
Yeah, that makes it like a one-stop shop and one less thing to
Yeah.
go wrong or
Less
place to-
traveling,
Yes,
less traveling.
that's always good.
Yeah.
All right, so the next question on people's mind is money. Do you have a minimum, like dollar amount that people are going to be paying just to get the site?
Right. We don't pride ourselves in forcing people to order something they're not interested in.
Yeah.
We do weddings sometimes. All they're looking for maybe is to have a social hour with cocktails, and appetizers, and we can accommodate that. So, we book the room, and we're happy to, just take care of whatever people's needs are. We're not forcing them to spend a certain amount of money.
That's
so
great.
nice.
So with that wide range of, I guess, what you accommodate, what is the average price per plate?
An average price per plate it's only $17.95.
Oh my gosh.
Actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so our prices are really wonderful. I really think the facility it's amazing. It's truly a diamond in the rough. It's something to see.
And like you mentioned, there's a view that comes along with it all, which I don't even know if you can put a price tag on that.
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful.
Well said, yeah.
There's chandeliers and there's windows that surround the whole 2 sides of the building. It's
Wow.
absolutely gorgeous.
And the golf course too, which is always just beautiful, and green spaces. I always love that.
Save a lot of money decorating, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's already done for you. You just walk
Minimalistic
in.
approach.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Where can people check this out for themselves, Lori?
They can go to our website at www.kestrelridgegolf.com.
Great. This is Lori Brown from Kestrel Ridge in Columbus, Wisconsin. When we come back, we're talking with our favorite geeks, the Madison Geeks, right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are filming here at Radiance Skin Therapy. We're off of Todd Drive. We've got a maybe surprising topic for you later in the show, so stick around. Right now, we're talking about a topic that plagues a lot of us. It's good and bad, right? Technology. When it's working, it's great. When it's not, it's tough. But we're joined by Madison Geeks, our favorite geeks, as Janet said earlier. And we've got Cy with us today. Cyborg, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you guys today?
Glad to see
Great.
you. So, obviously, we've talked tech with you before, but
Right.
we're going to cover a specific topic that I think is tough for some individuals and some businesses to sort of master because there's a lot to know. We're talking about social media. So let's talk about small businesses. There's folks out there that are great at it. There's folks out there that really haven't gotten to dive in yet. Do small businesses need it? Do they need social media?
When I talk to businesses, one of the number one things they say is that the best form of advertising is via word of mouth. And in the digital age, social media is word of mouth advertising.
That's a really good point.
Well, good way to put that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a small business owner, what should I be posting?
It depends on which outlet you're posting on. So if you're posting on Facebook, you don't want to be sound too much like an advertisement. For example, when you're posting on your wall, there is Facebook advertising, and there's a place for that. But when you're posting on your wall, what you're looking to do is to establish your reputation and a rapport with your customers, and to make your relationships with your customers an ongoing thing, even when they're not in your facility.
So,
Okay.
an example, maybe on phrasing something. You're saying like, oh, we're having a great day at the ice cream shop today.
Oh
What do you
yeah,
mean?
people love pictures. So if you can get a really fun picture, if we're talking about the ice cream shop, of everybody, showing their favorite kind of ice cream cone, all of your staff, gather your staff together, it creates a connection because people say, these are real people, they're not just, ice cream cone throwers.
Okay, so we have an example, and how often should you be making those kinds of posts?
On Facebook, you don't post as frequently as you do on some other sites such as Twitter. Twitter is almost you can't post too much site, whereas with Facebook, you can overdo it. Once or twice a day, maybe sometimes 3 times a day, depending on your business and the types of posts you're doing. If you're throwing in memes, because everybody loves memes, that are somewhat related to your business, and you can brand them by putting your logo on the meme, you can end up doing more posts just because that's very shareable content that people appreciate.
Gotcha.
Good tips.
Can we just follow up on the Twitter? How can you say you can't tweet too much, but you can on Facebook? Why is that, just briefly?
Because Twitter has a very short life cycle. So you can be posting throughout the day because when people open up their Twitter, they're only going to see the most recent things, which it kind of works that way for Facebook, but their algorithm is a little bit different. So with Twitter, people are inundated with information all day long. And so if you posted something in the morning, unless they specifically decide to go to your Twitter page, they're probably not going to see that post. So I know some people who do a really good job of Twitter who sometimes will even post the same type of Twitter post more than once in the same day.
Oh, interesting.
Whereas with Facebook,
Keep it fresh.
it stays there a little bit longer. It's a little more evergreen is a good term for that.
Quick before we go, let's talk for some folks out there who aren't as maybe internet savvy or social media specifically savvy, time management. How much time should somebody be spending? And is it a big undertaking? Do you have any tips to make it faster?
It doesn't need to be a massive undertaking. There is a learning curve involved, and that's where Madison Geeks come in. We can help you guys to help small businesses, any small businesses, to learn how to do it, and then we provide them with a nice proprietary suite of tools to make it faster. So I say a business is posting anywhere between 5 and 15 hours a month, depending on the business. Smaller business probably don't need to spend as much time. And it really depends. So that's where we can sit down with our customers and make sure that they have the right plan in place for their objectives and their type of business.
Yeah, and some great little tricks of the trade that can save folks lots of time.
Lots of time.
We need to
Thank
talk
you.
about this again.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll bring this
Before
up
you
again.
take us out.
All right, thank you so much, Sai from Madison Geeks. We've got some fun topics today. Technology, of course, is one. And guys, you're up next. We're talking men's services here at Radiant Skin Therapy. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Girl Talk. We have been filming here at Radiant Skin Therapy and having a lovely time as we are joined now by Ann Fientka, who is always a gracious hostess. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Glad to see you. So, we've got kind of a fun topic today. We often talk about women, and obviously we like to look good, and there's lots of great services out there to help us prevent aging. But it's no secret there are men out there that want to do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the men's services. What are the most popular for guys?
Well, depends on the guy, right? But we see laser hair removal. Probably the big one right now is the PRP for the thinning hair. And we can go into that a little bit more. Botox, fillers, cool sculpting, chin.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely.
The
for face.
Kybella, the cool sculpting for the chin. But really any service that a woman might come in for, a man could come in for. And we're seeing that as a huge rise in our population at Radiance and actually all over.
Oh wow.
So
Well, I think it's great because guys are, really starting to. We've always taken care of ourselves for our guys, right? So,
Always.
So it's time to step up to the plate. No, but I think it's great, and I think it's great that it's becoming more common and maybe a little bit less I don't know, of something they're hiding and,
Right.
and coming out and doing it. So we'll cover some of those services
I
today.
think that's great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Botox and fillers. Men really do that?
Absolutely. And I think we approach men a little bit differently. We want our guys to still be kind of rough and, sexy looking. And so, we don't have to totally freeze them, that we can soften them.
Okay.
And so their lines don't continue to get real etched in and real deep. And a lot of guys, I don't like my crow's feet. They're getting to make me look old.
Yeah.
And so we can absolutely soften them, and nobody knows they're doing it, and they love that. It's still very natural for them.
Well, that's
So-
the best part, is that it can be so
Yeah.
hush hush.
Right.
secretive.
Absolutely.
And kind of going off of that as well, I know you mentioned PRP, which maybe for our viewers first, we can just explain what that means.
Sure. PRP is platelet-rich plasma.
Okay.
And it's where we take your blood and we spin it in a centrifuge, and it takes out all the things that we don't want, and it's left with platelet-rich plasma. Okay? And what that is it's your own growth factor.
Oh.
So we're putting back in to the scalp a growth factor. So as long as we have follicles there, and it's not just men, I know we're talking about men, but men and women can have thinning
Right.
hair. And so as long as we have follicles to stimulate with that growth factor, we see a huge change in the amount of hair. And not only that, the quality of the hair.
So some big results, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
really, really, really nice. We kind of fell into it, if you will, and we started to do a little bit of this, and all of a sudden everybody who comes in is seeing more hair. And so
Wow.
we've been doing more and more of it because the word kind of gets around.
What a unique
I
approach.
love that it seems like a secret potion, but
Yeah.
it's coming from you already.
Right.
There's nothing not natural about it. And we also use PRP to rejuvenate the face. And I always kind of found that kind of crazy, okay, we're putting in the scalp for hair, but then the body knows to give us collagen in the face. All of a sudden, are we going to grow hair in our face?
Right, right,
Yeah, that's
right.
interesting. But I guess we're smart beings,
Right,
right? Our bodies know
exactly.
what to do with what and where to put it. But that's so great about the hair, because there's so many guys out there that think that the only solution, and women too, for hair loss and trying to regain that is to do implants or transplants or all these things, I don't know a lot about, but this is so much easier and you're getting great results.
Right, right.
Really neat. Let's touch on cool sculpting for a minute before we move on. So cool sculpting, we've touched on this before, but it's basically a way to remove fat cells from certain areas. So what are guys doing in terms of cool sculpting? What are their favorite areas? You mentioned chin.
Yeah, chin. That genetic thing, or you have a little weight gain, and we see that in the chin. And that's really popular for guys because for some reason their genetics seem to go here. Women's genetics go here, but right,
We're all agreeing.
yeah. But other areas that men really like is their flanks.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
they love handles because, like I said, women have their spots, men have their spots, but we do a decent amount of flanks and even abdomens for men.
And we should mention this is all non-surgical. I mean, it's you come in on a lunch break if you want.
Absolutely,
It's incredible.
absolutely.
And you can go back to work the next day if
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Okay, so back to their faces.
Yeah,
Because that's the first part you see usually, right?
totally.
What can men continue or be doing at home to further their skincare?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like women who come in here, professional skin products can be so beneficial. It's different than what you're going to buy at Sephora. Nothing's wrong with Sephora, but we can give you a little bit more power, more gusto. It's kind of like it's okay to take a supplement when you're younger, but when you get older, you might need prescription.
Right.
And that's really the same with the skin. And men can see a huge change with that too. They get on, most men don't even use a cream, so we get them on a couple prescription products and they say, wow, my skin looks amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then even have them start to wear some sunscreen, which they're not used to doing. So,
That's always huge, sunscreen,
yeah.
right? That's always what your parents are telling you growing up.
It's
and
a prevention.
You don't listen. So
Right.
where can people
Exactly.
find out more just about everything that you guys have to offer?
Yeah, they can visit our website at radiantskintherapy.com. They can call us 240-0088 and they can have a free consultation.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you guys are great, and I've done the free consultation. It's wonderful. I mean, but you all know your stuff, so it's so evident in sitting here with you and just shooting the breeze and asking you questions. Thanks for sharing some of the men's services.
Nice to see you
Talk.
again.
Nice to see you.
All right, well, thanks to Ann and Radiant Skin Therapy. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us. Thank you for watching. Join us next time for Girl Talk.